Hi everyone. Today's 20-minute class will focus on gentle and restorative stretches to release lower back pain and tension. So we're going to need a block and a bolster. If you don't have these at home, you can always substitute for a book or cushions or a rolled up mat. We're going to start in a child's pose, bringing your knees as wide as the mat. Maybe sinking your hips down towards the heels, maybe using a bolster underneath your belly or your chest, just to support that upper body. Turn one cheek to the mat. Just relaxing here for a moment. Breathing in and out through the nose. Letting the tailbone draw down towards the heels, lengthening the lower back. Lifting up into the belly, fill up into the back ribs as you inhale. And then empty from the back ribs, from the belly as you exhale. Turn your cheek to the other side, stretch out through the other side of your neck. 5 deep breaths here. Letting your whole upper body soften into your bolster or your cushions, or just into your mat. Okay, slowly start to walk your hands in. Coming up to a kneeling position. So if you know that your knees don't feel good in a kneeling position, or this is already quite strong, you can either move the bolster away, or you could sit up and slide the bolster underneath to straddling it. You either have the bolster just behind you, or you could grab your block behind you, and we're going to come into a gentle twist. So hands just resting on your thighs first. Sit up nice and tall on your inhale. Bring your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Left hand either just resting on the back of that bolster or onto your block, or maybe you can reach your mat, wherever you can get just a bit of leverage. Push that knee away with your right hand and twist over towards your left side. Head looks over towards that left shoulder. Just make sure you're not leaning back. You keep the shoulders stacked over the hips. Draw your lower belly in to stabilize the lower back. Staying here for 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Head comes back to center on the next inhale. Body comes back to center. Either using a block or just bringing your hand onto the bolster. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale to twist to the other side. Looking back towards your right shoulder this time. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist a little bit deeper. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, head comes back to center. Exhale, body comes back to center. And slowly coming back onto all fours. Just moving your block back to the front. Now from here we're going to come into a supported poppy pose. So coming into the all fours with your hips stacked over the knees. Bring your bolster around horizontally across your mat. You might not need it, but if you're using it, bring your hands to rest on top of the bolster, head either just resting on it or you could rest your head onto your mat. Okay, just make sure your hips don't sink too close towards your heels. So we want to keep that stacking of the hips over the knees. Letting your hands dangle off. If this is too much for your shoulders and your chest, just again, don't use your props. Bring your hands just flat on the mat. Otherwise, melting your chest down, letting the upper body relax and soften into the mat or towards the mat. Spreading the sit bones like your down dog to encourage more length through the lower back. Three more breaths here. You can stay here longer if it feels good, or we can slowly come all the way back up. Just take a moment in your closed like a child's pose, bringing your knees together, arms beside your body. Let your back around, head comes down on the mat. Take a little rock side to side, massaging the third eye, shaking up the hips, letting your back around a little bit more. As you're ready to move on, hands come back down onto your mat. Come back onto all fours. You can tuck your toes under. Just push yourself up, walk your feet in a little bit. We're just coming into a forward fold. So bring your feet around hip width or even wider. Bend your knees until your belly and thighs can touch round forward. Stay here, just letting your whole upper body fold forward heavy. Or you could take opposite elbows, let your upper body be a little bit heavier around, a little bit further forward. Crown of the head draws down towards the mat to lengthen your neck. You could take a little sway side to side if your hamstrings are okay. If you're feeling your quads are getting a bit sore, you could straighten your legs, but still keeping the upper body relaxed. Swaying side to side to release the lower back. Releasing any tension there. Releasing the shoulders, the neck. Three more breaths. Slowly release opposite elbows. On your next inhale, flat back, long through the spine. Lift your chest, just lengthening through the backs of your legs. Draw in through the lower belly so you're not straining your lower back to come up. Spine lengthens. And then exhale to fold forward. We'll do two more of these. Inhale to straighten your legs. Lift the chest. Lift through the belly. Exhale to fold forward. One more inhale to lift, lengthen, come up halfway, flat back. Exhale to fold forward. Bend your knees a lot this time. Wrap your arm behind your legs. Big squeeze in, drawing your belly and your chest down towards your thighs and your knees. Squeezing in, like I said, giving your legs a really big hug, a really tight hug. And then release your hands back down into the mat. Okay, from here now, let's come into a squat. So toes pointing out to the side a little bit. Sit your hips down towards the heels. If this is too strong for your hips, just bring a block or your bolster underneath your hips. Sitting down. This just helps to open the hips but takes a bit of the pressure out so you're not using so much strength in your hips. Coming into a gentle twist from here. So again, if your hips are quite tight, you might need to move your feet a little further forward. If you'd like a little bit more, step your feet a little closer towards your hips. Coming into another twist, so we're going to use the right fingertips, bring them out to the side. Using this right tricep, to push the knee out to the side. And make sure this knee doesn't collapse in, so we keep both knees opening out to the side, opening through the hips and the groin. On the inhale, we're going to reach the left arm up. Draw that top shoulder back, open your chest. Again, just notice if you're dumping into your lower back. Keep everything hugging in, the lower belly hugs in. You can keep looking down, you can look towards the left side, or even look all the way up towards that top head. Finding that opening through the spine, through the chest, through the shoulders. If you're in your squat and you're not sitting on a block, draw that tailbone down towards the heels to encourage, again, more length in that lower back. You could stay here, or you could turn this top thumb down, wrap it around your lower back, drawing that top shoulder a little further back. Maybe fingertips come to the inside of this thigh, or maybe your arm is just hanging around behind your back. Gentle release through the hips, through the lower back, through the shoulders. Again, if your neck is pinching, just keep looking down. 2 more breaths here. And slowly reverse your path, coming all the way back through center. Coming to your other side. So this time the left arm opens out to the side, coming onto the fingertips, long through the spine. Inhale, right arm up. Draw that top shoulder back. Look down, look towards the right, or look up. Stay here, or come into that half bind, wrapping your right arm around your lower back this time. Draw that top shoulder back more. Again, don't let that knee drop in. Keep opening your hips out to the side. You can relax your neck if looking up is too much for your neck. 2 more breaths. And slowly release. Coming back through center. Bring your legs slightly out in front. If you're sitting on your block, just move it out of the way, sitting back down onto the mat. From here now, I'm going to come into a very restorative version of forward fold. So bringing your bolster underneath your knees. This is when you would use a rolled up mat or some rolled up blankets or just something to prop your legs up quite high. Legs are a little bit wider than your hip width, maybe almost mat width. Let your toes just drop out to the side. Bring your arms to the insides of your legs and let your shoulders round forward, let your head round forward. If your lower back is really tight, your neck or your spine is really tight, or your hamstrings are tight, you might not be able to round forward very much. So you can use a block. Just adjust the height of the block. Relax your head on it. Adjust. Relax your head. Okay, so whichever position allows you to get that support through your upper body. Once you find that position, arms relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Notice where you're feeling the stretch. Maybe you're feeling it most through the outsides of your hamstrings or your glutes or along the lower back or the upper back, shoulders, the back of the neck. Everyone will experience different sensations in even the same pose. So just acknowledge and notice what you're feeling in this position here. Soften a little bit more as you exhale. 10 more breaths here. Just 3 more breaths. Slowly starting to come all the way up. As usual, feel free to pause, stay longer in this position if it feels good. Otherwise, sitting all the way up. Move your bolster out of the way for a moment. Bring your legs out in front. You can give your legs a bit of a shake. Rolling out your toes, your ankles, a bit of movement back into your legs. So this next one, we're going to shuffle forward a little bit. Okay, and then bring your bolster horizontally along your mat. I do this one in class a lot, especially towards the end, because it's a really good way to open through the chest, the shoulders, and the lower back. So we get the block at the top of the mat. This is where our head will rest. Bolster goes along the lower ribs, right all the way back over the bolster. Just make sure that block is supporting your head. If it feels like your head is dropping back too much and your neck and throat are dropping back too much, you can adjust the height of your block. And the arms just rest over the bolster, opening out like a T. You can keep your feet flat on the mat, or you could bring your legs into a butterfly if you'd like more opening through the hips, or you could extend your legs out long along your mat. Okay, so 3 different positions you could play with, just seeing which feels better. Letting your chest open, shoulders open. Staying here for 10 breaths. Breathing into the belly, into the chest. And out from the chest, out from the belly. Feeling expansion of the whole upper body. And be noticing a bit of decompression through the upper back and lower back. Five more deep breaths. You can stay here longer. If you're ready to move on, bring your feet back onto the mat if they weren't there already. Feet either hip width or together. Take a little windscreen wiper actions with your knees now, rocking side to side. Gentle massage into that back body, into your lower back. If you're feeling quite tight here, you might already be feeling quite a strong sensation. But if it's okay, maybe you drop both knees over towards one side. Adjust the position of your feet. So if you take your feet wider, you're going to get more of a stretch through this top hip and the top quad and glute. Or you could bring your knees together, again maybe feeling it more towards the back of that glute. Just experiment with where you want the stretch, which position feels best. Letting your legs drop all the way over. Maybe head looks to the opposite shoulder, opposite hand to open the neck and the throat. 5 deep breaths here. You can stay here longer. We can bring your knees back through center, this time dropping them over to the other side, looking towards the other head. Five deep breaths. Stay longer or slowly come all the way back up. This time, maybe bring both arms up overhead, stretching it for a moment. You could extend your legs out long along your mat, big stretch up. Okay, and slowly moving the block out of the way, bring your head back onto the mat. Takes a little bit of a shuffle here, but I'm going to come shuffle all the way up. Move the bolster to underneath your hips. Let's stay here for 5 breaths. Letting your hips be heavy, supported bridge pose. Feeling again that decompression through your hips. If this is too much, you can lift your feet off the mat, so you get less of a bend through that lower back and pelvis. But if it's okay, you can keep your feet flat on the mat. Relaxing your hips into the bolster. Five more breaths. Just remember that this is more of a sped up version of maybe a full 30 or even 60-minute class, just focusing on lower back. So if you do need longer in each of these poses, you could stay as long as 3 to 5 minutes to make it a bit more yin, a bit more restorative. Just because of time, we're going to come out of the pose now. Lift the hips, move the bolster out, and bring them underneath your knees. You can rock your head side to side, massage the back of your head, using the bolster to support the legs, letting the lower back press back down into the earth. Again, just 5 breaths here, feeling your whole back body press into the mat. Rounding here. Slowly start to roll over onto your left hand side. You can take a few deep breaths here. Keep your eyes closed, push yourself back up. Bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart center. Just one last deep breath here. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Namaste.